The instability created in Europe by the First World War set the stage for another international conflict, World War II, which broke out 2 decades later and would prove even more devastating. Rising to power in an economically and politically unstable Germany, Adolf Hitler and his Nazi party rearmed the nation and signed strategic treaties with Italy and Japan to further his ambitions of world domination. Hitler's invasion of Poland in September 1939 drove Great Britain and France to declare war on Germany, and World War II had begun. Over the next 6 years, the conflict would take more lives and destroy more land and property around the globe than any previous war. Among the estimated 45 to 60 million people killed were 6 million Jews, murdered in Nazi concentration camps as part of Hitler's diabolical final solution known as the Holocaust.
In late August 1939, Hitler and the Soviet leader Joseph Stalin signed a non-aggression pact, which incited a frenzy of worry in London and Paris. Hitler had long planned an invasion of Poland, a nation which Great Britain and France had guaranteed military support if it was attacked by Germany. The pact with Stalin meant that Hitler would not face war on two fronts once he invaded Poland, and would have Soviet assistance in conquering and dividing the nation itself. On September 1st, 1939, Hitler invaded Poland from the west. 2 days later, France and Britain declared war on Germany, beginning World War II. On September 17th, Soviet Union troops invaded Poland from the east. Already being under attack from Germany, the Poland quickly fell. By early 1940, Germany and the Soviet Union had divided control over the nation, according to the protocol attended in the non-aggression pact. During the 6 months following the invasion of Poland, the lack of action on the part of Germany and the Allies in the West led to talk in the news media of a phony war. At sea, however, the British and German navies faced off in a heated battle. The German U-boat submarine struck at merchant ships bound for Britain, sinking more than 100 vessels in the first 4 months of World War II.
With Britain facing Germany in Europe, the United States was the only nation capable of combating Japanese aggression, which by late 1941 included an expansion of its ongoing war with China and the seizure of European colonial holdings in the Far East. On December 7, 1941, 360 Japanese aircrafts attacked the major U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, taking the Americans completely by surprise and claiming the lives of more than 2,300 troops. The attack of Pearl Harbor served to unify American public opinion in favor of entering World War II, and on December 8th, Congress declared war on Japan, with only one dissenting vote. Germany and the other Axis powers promptly declared war on the United States. After a long string of Japanese victories, the U.S. Pacific Fleet won the Battle of Midway in June 1942, which proved to be a turning point in the war. The Allies also had success against Japanese forces in a series of battles from August 1942 to February 1943, helping turn the tide further in the Pacific. In mid-1943, Allied naval forces began an aggressive counterattack against Japan, involving a series of ambitious assaults on key Japanese-held islands in the Pacific. This island-hopping strategy proved successful, and the Allied forces moved closer to their ultimate goal of invading the Japanese homeland.
Amphibious, not ambitious. On June 6, 1944, celebrated as D-Day, the Allied forces began a massive invasion of Europe, landing 156,000 British, Canadian, and American troops on the beaches of Normandy. In response, Hitler poured all the remaining strength of his army in Western Europe, ensuring Germany's defeat in the east. Soviet troops have soon advanced into Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and Romania, while Hitler gathered his forces to drive Americans and British back from Germany in the Battle of the Bulge, the last major German offensive war. An intensive aerial bombardment in February of 1945 preceded the Allied invasion of Germany. And by the time Germany formally surrendered, Soviets had occupied much of the country. Hitler was already dead, having committed suicide on April 30th in his bunker at the Potsdam Conference of July and August of 1945. U.S. President Harry Truman, which had taken office after Roosevelt's death in April, met with Churchill and Stalin and discussed the ongoing war in Japan, as well as a peace settlement with Germany. Post-war Germany would be divided into 4 occupational zones to be controlled by the Soviet Union, Britain, the U.S., and France. On the decisive matter of the Eastern Europe's future, Churchill and Truman acquiesced to Stalin that they needed Soviet cooperation in the war against Japan. Heavy casualties sustained at the campaigns of at Iwo Jima in February 1945 and Okinawa April and June 1945. The fears of the even costlier land invasion of Japan led Truman to authorize the new use of a devastating weapon, the atomic bomb, on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In early August, on August 10th, the Japanese government issued a statement declaring they would accept the terms of Potsdam Declaration, and on September 2nd, U.S. General Douglas MacArthur accepted Japan's formal surrender aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay.
World War II proved to be the most devastating international conflict in history, taking the lives of some 35 to 60 million people, including 6 million Jews who died at the hands of the Nazis. Millions more were injured and still more lost their homes and property. The legacy of the war would include the spread of communism from the Soviet Union into Eastern Europe, as well as its eventual triumph in China, and the global shift in power from Europe to 2 rival superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, that would soon face off against each other in the Cold War.